name is Randa Trapp, and this is my story. My professional journey was more of a circuitous route. I actually took me 10 years to get through undergrad. I started as a pre-pharmacy major back in the early 70s, and then I stopped and I joined the military, which was a good thing for me to do because it helped me develop as a person, mature a bit. And when I came back to college, this time I had a political science major because I had experienced the turbulent 60s and all of the changes with the civil rights movement. So I decided that I wanted to help people in a different way. And that's why I decided to go to law school. And from there, my first position was with the State Attorney General's office. From there, I went to a civil firm, and from there I went in-house with the Fortune 500 company, first in the litigation section and then in the commercial section. When I was appointed to the bench, I had the opportunity to first sit in family court, where I learned a lot about people, and I learned basically how to be a judge and how to listen. And then I had a stint in the criminal division of the court and ultimately ended up in the civil division, where I spent the last 10 or 11 years and eventually became the supervising judge of the third largest court system in the nation, which was a wonderful experience. And after nearly 20 years on the bench, I retired and was fortunate to join JAMS. As a woman, and a woman of color, as you might imagine, I have encountered difficulties and barriers in the profession. So some of the barriers that I have encountered is being a woman in a law firm that never had any women partners. And being in that situation was difficult. Finding mentors and role models was difficult. But the one thing I learned is to make the best out of whatever situation that you're in. I have always been involved in the community, in my community, and in the legal community. It's just important to me. As I mentioned, I grew up in the turbulent 60s, and I was able to have a lot of opportunities because of sacrifices that others made on my behalf. And so I've always felt the need to give back and to keep doors open and to open doors for those coming behind me. I've had a number of mentors over my career, and I think it's important to have different mentors for different seasons. And an earlier season of my career, my mentor was one of the senior women lawyers in-house. And one of the things that resonated with me and stayed with me all these years was, don't borrow trouble. I thought that was just such sage advice. Don't borrow trouble. And what she meant by that was, don't worry about the things that you can't change. Do your best. And if other people have other agendas, you can't worry about that and you can't change it. So there's one thing that I really enjoy, and that's working with young people and trying to inspire them. I didn't know any African-American lawyers or judges when I was growing up here in San Diego. And so I like to be visible in the community so that little girls and little boys can see me, a Black woman who is a judge. There's a poem that I think sums up my life so far and inspires me going forward. And it's a poem by Langston Hughes, and it's called Mother to Son. And I'm also a mother, actually, to 2 sons. And the poem is about, she talks about life ain't been no crystal stair. And she talks about the difficulties in life, but that she always keeps moving forward, no matter the circumstances. And she encourages her son to never give up, to never turn back, but to keep moving forward. And that sums up my life and is the motivation for my life. I faced some challenges. I've learned not to borrow trouble. I've learned to pick my battles, but I always move forward because I know that failure is not an option, and it has held me in good stead all this time. I'm Randa Trapp, and I'm proud to be a mediator and an arbitrator at JAMS.